Before the world knew the truth, a secret was hidden in plain sight. What if the two creation stories in Genesis, so often overlooked, weren't just a mistake, but a deliberate revelation, a cosmic dance between the vastness of the universe and the personal, intimate bond between God and humanity? Have you ever wondered why the Bible presents two different accounts of creation? Why the Creator is portrayed as both distant and deeply personal? What if these contradictions were meant to deepen our understanding, not confuse us? In this video, we will peel back the layers of Genesis and reveal the powerful, sacred truths about why there are two creation stories. You'll uncover how the sequence of creation in Genesis 1 echoes the might and order of the cosmos, while Genesis 2 draws you closer to the heartbeat of God Himself. Are these contradictions truly mistakes, or do they unlock a deeper understanding of God's relationship with us? Get ready to embark on a journey that will shake your perception of creation itself. We will explore the theology behind these accounts, dive into the historical context, and uncover the divine strategy that led to the compilation of these two narratives. You won't just understand the creation story, you'll feel it. The magnitude of Elohim's power, the tenderness of YHWH's nearness. Both are woven together, creating a tapestry that invites us to reflect on our place in the world. You're about to discover how the tension between the two creation accounts holds an undeniable truth. God is both transcendent and immanent. He created the universe with a single word, yet He's close enough to breathe life into our very beings. Don't miss the powerful reasons behind why these stories are retained. They'll open your eyes to the divine duality that governs everything. Stay with us, and you'll begin to see the world and your Creator in a whole new light. Why did God create the world in two different ways? The universe as we know it, vast, cosmic, and intricate, began with a single command: let there be light. But what if the creation we see and the creation we understand isn't just a linear sequence? What if there's more depth, more richness in the two distinct creation accounts in Genesis than we could have ever imagined? We've all heard the stories, but have we ever truly listened to what they mean? Can we grasp the vastness of Elohim's power or understand the intimacy of His bond with us through the second creation story? When you take a moment to reflect on Genesis 1, the first creation story, something breathtaking unfolds before you. It isn't just about light or dark, land or sea, animals or mankind. It's the overwhelming display of God's infinite power. Elohim speaks, and the entire cosmos falls into line, obeying His divine will. Creation doesn't stumble or hesitate. It flows with the precision of a master orchestrating a symphony. The world is built on structure, rhythm, and a perfect sense of order. And in the vastness of the universe, God holds the universe in His hands. This isn't just another story, it's the foundation of all we know. The precision of the heavens, the divine arrangement of the stars, the orchestration of day and night. God's power flows effortlessly through this narrative. He doesn't need to lift a finger. His word is enough to create galaxies, oceans, mountains, and the very life that walks this earth. The language is almost hypnotic, each word a command, and each command executed with divine authority. But there's a mystery in all of this. Why would a God of such vastness, of such unimaginable power, choose to create something so close to Him? Why does Genesis 2 take us on a journey into the tender creation of man, a man who is made from the earth itself, his life breathed into existence by the very breath of God? But how do these two stories fit together, and why are they so different? The intimacy of God in Genesis 2. Let's explore Genesis 2. Imagine for a moment that you're standing there with God as He bends down, touches the dust, and forms a human being from the earth. This isn't the cosmic God who commands the stars into being. This is the God who stoops down to the very soil, creating with his own hands. He doesn't speak creation into existence here. He touches it. He molds it, breathes into it. The intimate, tender nature of this creation speaks volumes. God doesn't just create man and leave him in a distant, lifeless garden. No, God places him in a garden, provides him with everything he needs and walks with him. Can you hear the closeness? This is the God who doesn't just create. He lives with his creation. He calls the man good. And then he says, "It is not good for man to be alone." And so he creates a helper, a partner, someone who complements him in every way. They are equal in their role, united in their purpose, sharing in the same divine love. This story speaks to the deepest longings of the human heart. It shows that from the very beginning God wanted relationship. He didn't want to create humans to merely serve him from a distance. He wanted them to be with him, walking beside him, knowing him in the most intimate of ways. The phrase helper is often misunderstood. It doesn't mean subordination. It's a powerful word that speaks of partnership, companionship, and mutual support. The same word is used throughout Scripture to describe God himself as a helper. So, what does that mean? It means that the creation of woman isn't just a side story. It's a divine action to fulfill the deep need for relationship, love, and partnership. This is the ultimate act of kindness, the most beautiful demonstration of God's character, his desire to walk with his people. And this is where the second creation story, in all its intimacy and vulnerability, complements the first. Genesis 1 tells us that God is powerful beyond measure, that he commands the very cosmos. But Genesis 2 tells us that this same God is personal, deeply invested in his creation, and desires to share in a relationship with it. So, how do we reconcile these two accounts? The Contradictions are a masterpiece of theological design. We've already discussed the differences in God's name, Elohim in Genesis 1 and YHWH in Genesis 2. We might be tempted to think of these differences as contradictions or errors, but that's not the case. These two names reveal two different aspects of God's nature. Elohim speaks to his majesty and omnipotence, his vastness that spans galaxies. YHWH, on the other hand, speaks to his closeness, his personal nature, the God who is near, who is relational, who cares about the details of our lives. This isn't an accident. This isn't a mistake. The two stories are not meant to conflict. They are meant to show us the complete picture of God. We need both accounts to understand the depth of who God is. He is the Creator who spoke the world into existence, but he is also the Father who lovingly breathed life into the first man. He is the one who is both above and beyond, but he is also the one who walks alongside us in the garden. Both are equally important, and both speak to the heart of who God is. The divine tension between the first and second creation stories invites us to consider the vastness of God's power and his nearness to us. When we understand both, we are drawn into a deeper relationship with him. When we reflect on his omnipotence and his intimacy, we realize that God is not a distant, far-off deity. He is here with us, walking beside us in every moment of our lives. These stories invite us to understand the Creator as both the mighty God who holds the universe in his hands and the loving God who desires to walk with us in the garden of life. And this is where the beauty of Genesis lies. It's not just a story. It's an invitation to understand God in the fullness of his character, his power, his love, his closeness, his care. These two creation stories hold the key to unlocking the deeper mysteries of who God is and how he desires to be known. Now, ask yourself this. Do you see God as the powerful Creator, or do you see him as the tender, intimate Father? Perhaps it's time we recognize that he is both the history and sources behind the creation stories. Have you ever wondered why the Bible has two creation accounts? Why are these stories so different from one another? It's almost like God wanted to make sure we got the message, but not in the way we expected. These two narratives are not mistakes. They're part of a divine design meant to reveal different aspects of God's nature. The story of creation isn't just about the universe. It's about us. It's about our relationship with God. And it's about the foundation of everything we believe. Let's dive into the heart of it, the documentary hypothesis, a theory that changes everything you think you know about the origins of the Bible. The documentary hypothesis suggests that multiple sources contributed to the writing of the Torah. Think of it like a puzzle, pieced together from different traditions, each contributing its unique understanding of God. The two creation stories we see in Genesis, the first one with Elohim and the second with YHWH, come from different sources. The Elohim narrative focuses on the grandeur of God, his power over the entire universe, while the YHWH account zooms in on his personal, intimate relationship with humanity. But here's where it gets interesting. The Bible, especially the Old Testament, wasn't written in a vacuum. It was shaped by centuries of cultural development, and the exile played a huge role in this. The Israelites, after being taken captive, were forced to grapple with their identity and their understanding of God. The stories that we read today in Genesis were compiled during this time, and the different creation accounts reflect the complex understanding of a people who were wrestling with God's power, his presence, and his purpose for them. The inclusion of both creation stories, one portraying God as transcendent, the other as near, is not a coincidence. It's a message that we, as humans, are both part of a vast, ordered universe and also cherished, loved, and deeply known by the Creator. These two stories serve as a reminder. God is not just distant, watching from the heavens. He is here, with us, working intimately in our lives, shaping us and walking beside us in the garden of life. The stories in Genesis are not just history. They are living words that continue to speak to us today. When we look at them through the lens of history, we see that they reflect not only the faith of the Israelites, but also a profound understanding of God's nature. God is not a God who fits into our neat boxes. He is more vast, more intimate, and more personal than we can even begin to imagine. Retaining both accounts, the complementary nature of the biblical editors. The question arises, why keep both creation stories? Why not just stick with one? The answer is profound and deeply rooted in God's desire for us to understand who He truly is. The editors of the Bible didn't discard the first creation account for the second, and they didn't force the two stories to align perfectly. And instead they kept both because each one reveals something different, but equally essential, about God. Genesis chapter 1, with its powerful cosmic language, portrays a God who is sovereign, who commands the heavens and the earth, who stands outside of time and space. He is the creator of the cosmos, and through his word, he brings order from chaos. He is above all things. He is majestic. He is awe-inspiring. But Genesis 2 tells a different story. This is not the creator of the universe from afar. This is God who bends down, who touches the dirt, who breathes life into dust. This is the God who desires relationship, who desires to walk with humanity, who doesn't just create, but intimately forms and walks with his creation. Here, God isn't just the creator of the cosmos. He is the Father, the helper, the partner in life. The biblical editors kept both accounts because together they speak of a God who is both majestic and personal, powerful and intimate. These two aspects of God, the transcendent and the immanent, cannot be separated. You can't understand God's power without understanding His presence. You can't understand His presence without understanding His power. It's like a relationship. Imagine you're in a relationship with someone who is both incredibly powerful but also deeply personal. At times they may seem distant, but when you need them the most, they are right there by your side, offering love, support, and care. God is both, the one who rules the heavens and the one who whispers to our hearts. He is the creator of all that is, but He is also the closest friend, the companion we never knew we needed. And this is the genius of the Bible. It doesn't settle for just one narrative. It gives us both, the cosmic and the personal, the grand and the intimate. By doing so, it invites us into a deeper relationship with God, one that spans both the heights of heaven and the depths of our hearts. This divine tension, the balance between God's power and His nearness, is the very heart of the Bible's message. And it's why both creation stories are vital to our understanding of who God is. They invite us to see God as both the creator of the universe and the Father who knows us intimately. We are both part of His grand design, and we are the recipients of His unending love. So, what do these two creation accounts mean for you? It means that no matter how vast your life may feel, no matter how small or insignificant you might seem, God sees you. He knows you. He created you with purpose. He speaks worlds into existence, and He also breathes life into your soul. That's the power of both creation stories. They show us the Creator who is above all, and the one who is with us in the dirt of life. Both are true, and both are yours to embrace. Why God retained both creation accounts. A masterpiece of theological design. There's something incredibly powerful about the way God reveals Himself in the Bible. He doesn't just give us one story. He gives us two, but not just any two stories. Two stories that speak to the depths of who we are, how we see God, and how we understand our relationship with the Creator of the universe. The retention of both creation accounts in Genesis is not by accident. It is a divine masterpiece, a revelation designed to draw us in, to challenge our perception, and to bring us closer to the God who is both vast and intimate. Imagine standing on the edge of the universe. The cosmos sprawls before you, endless and incomprehensible. The stars shimmer like diamonds scattered across the dark abyss. This is the God of Genesis 1, Elohim, the Creator who speaks worlds into existence. A single command, and the vast expanse of the universe takes shape. Light bursts forth from the void, oceans form from chaos, mountains rise with the force of divine will. Elohim is the Creator, not just of the earth but of the entire cosmos. A majestic, powerful, awe-inspiring force that controls every galaxy, every star, every molecule in the universe. But then suddenly, the narrative shifts. We leave the expanse of the universe and descend into a garden. Genesis 2 opens up with a different kind of creation. God, as YHWH, kneels down to the earth, forming man from the dust. He breathes life into the nostrils of the first human, and that intimate breath sparks life. He doesn't command from afar. He creates with His hands, tenderly and deliberately shaping His creation with His own fingers. God becomes personal, drawing close, wanting to be in a relationship, in partnership with humanity. This isn't just a story about creation. This is the story of God showing us who He is, both beyond comprehension and intimately near. Elohim is the all-powerful creator of the universe, but Yehush is the God who walks beside us, who breathes life into us, who cares for the smallest details of our existence. Both accounts are crucial in understanding the fullness of God's nature. He is everything, and He is close to you. Why would God choose to retain both accounts? Why not simply choose one? It's because both aspects are vital to understanding His nature. The inclusion of both creation stories doesn't dilute or conflict with the message. It magnifies it. The cosmic power of Elohim, and the intimate, personal touch of YHWH work in perfect harmony to show us a God who is both transcendent and immanent. The vastness of the universe is only fully understood when we also know the closeness of God. We cannot see him as the Creator without understanding that he is also the Father. We cannot grasp his omnipotence without experiencing his nearness. These two accounts are not contradictory, they are complementary. Genesis 1 paints a picture of the God who created everything from the grandest galaxies to the smallest details. He is powerful, sovereign, and above all things. But Genesis 2 paints a picture of the God who desires relationship, who values intimacy, who desires to be near us and to dwell with us. This isn't just theology. This is God's heart. He is the God of the cosmos and the God of the garden, the God who reigns over the universe and the God who walks with us in our day-to-day lives. Why do both stories matter? Because they give us the fullness of God. In Genesis 1, we see a God who is all-powerful, the creator of the universe. In Genesis 2, we see a God who is personal, the creator who forms us with his own hands. God is both, and he is inviting us to experience both sides of him. The theological implications of this duality are profound. It's not just that God created the world and humanity, it's that he created the world with purpose and intention, both in the grand scope of the universe and in the tender care of every individual life. The power of Elohim and the intimacy of YHWH invite us to see God in the fullness of his majesty and his nearness. When we understand these two creation stories together, we are not just confronted with a cosmic creator, but with a loving Father who desires a deep and personal relationship with us. And this is where the healing begins. In Genesis chapter 1, we are reminded of God's incredible power, of his ability to bring order from chaos, to create something beautiful out of nothing. But in Genesis chapter 2, we are reminded that this same God is near. He is with us in the dust, in the dirt, in the moments when we feel alone or forgotten. He is the God who cares, who breathes life into our souls, and who desires to walk with us in every season of our lives. The divine tension between the cosmic and the personal, between the transcendent and the immanent, is the heartbeat of the Bible. And it is through both creation stories that we see the full picture of God, the creator of the universe, and the Father who is close. So, why retain both accounts? Because this is the God we need. We need the God of the cosmos who created the stars with a word. But we also need the God of the garden who knows us intimately, who breathes life into us, and who walks beside us every step of the way. As the stars twinkle in the vast, dark sky above us, we often forget just how close the Creator really is. We get lost in the day-to-day, in the noise of the world, and in the vastness of the universe. But in the midst of all this, there is a God who is not just far away, but is deeply personal. A God who breathed life into us, a God who loves us, a God who desires to walk with us every moment of our lives. When we look at the two creation stories in Genesis, we're not just looking at an ancient text, we're looking at a revelation of God's heart. Genesis 1 tells us that God is Elohim, the creator who spoke, and the universe came into being. He created the heavens and the earth, the stars and the moon, and everything in it. There's power in this story. There's majesty. It speaks to the grandeur of God's design, the order he set in place for the universe, and his ability to create everything with just a word. But Genesis 2 is where things get personal. It's not just about the creation of the world anymore. It's about the creation of you and me. It's about a God who bends down, takes dust in his hands, and breathes life into it. It's about intimacy. It's about a God who wants to walk with you in the garden, who wants to be with you every moment of your life, through your struggles, your triumphs, and everything in between. These two stories are not meant to conflict. They're not contradictions. They complement each other, revealing different aspects of who God is. We need both stories. Without Genesis 1, we would forget how majestic and powerful God truly is. Without Genesis 2, we would miss the depth of his personal care for us. He is the God who created the universe, and he is the God who knows you by name, who formed you with his own hands, who breathes life into your soul. But here's the thing. These stories aren't just for the people of Israel. They're for you. They speak directly to your soul, to the depths of your being. They remind you that no matter how small you may feel, no matter how insignificant your life may seem in the grand scheme of things, God is with you. He is the creator of the cosmos, and he is the Father who knows every detail of your life. He sees you, he loves you, and he desires a relationship with you. So what does this mean for your life today? It means that you're not alone. It means that no matter what you're going through, no matter how dark the world may seem, God is close. He is the Creator who spoke the world into existence. But he is also the Father who walks beside you, who gives you strength, and who whispers love into your heart. And it means that you are part of his grand design. You were created on purpose, and you were created with love. When you feel overwhelmed, when you feel like the world is too big, too chaotic, just remember, the same God who spoke the stars into existence also formed you from the dust and breathed life into you. You are his masterpiece, and he is with you every step of the way. And if this message has spoken to your heart, if it's lifted you up, if you've found light in the midst of the darkness, I invite you to be a part of this journey with me. If you feel that this video has added value to your life, if it's helped you connect with God's love, or if it's simply brought you peace in a moment of chaos, I ask for your support. Every bit of encouragement, every like, every share, it helps me to continue making these videos and sharing God's message with the world. Your support, no matter how small, is a gift I deeply cherish. Thank you, from the bottom of my heart, for being a part of this journey. Together, let's keep seeking his presence, sharing his love, and walking in his light. God bless you.